So far we came to the point that Yusuf alayhi salam is in Egypt. He was purchased by a very wealthy man in Egypt. He used to be called Aziz of Misr. That was his title. And his name, as it comes in some of the books, is Potiphar. Potiphar may be his title also. I don't really know, but Quran calls him Aziz. So we're going to stick with that, Aziz. So Aziz saw Yusuf alayhi salam, and he was very impressed with Yusuf alayhi salam. And he said to his wife, let's take this boy home. We will raise him as one of our own, and maybe we can adopt him as our own son. So Yusuf alayhi salam made his way into Egypt. Now, one more thing I want to talk about before I move forward, that Yusuf alayhi salam discussed one of his dreams with his dad, his father, Yaqub alayhi salam. And his father, Yaqub alayhi salam, said, do not tell your dream to your brothers, because they already are against you. They may harm you. So you guys, whenever you see any dream, if it's a good dream, you can discuss it with your parents, and they will be able to direct you accordingly, or your siblings. And if you see any bad dream, never discuss that dream with anybody. Just say la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah and forget about it, because shaitan sometimes try to scare us in our dreams, and we shouldn't pay any attention to it. And we should say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should ask him that, oh Allah, please save me from any evilness from this dream. And that's basically how it should be. Just forget about that dream altogether. Anyway, so Yusuf alayhi salam is in Egypt. Yusuf alayhi salam is treated very well by Aziz, and he is now going up the ladder of improving his job title. And soon he becomes the manager of the house of the Aziz. He is the head of all the servants in the house of Aziz. Not only that, now Aziz takes Yusuf alayhi salam to his farming business, and he takes care of all his farming affairs. So sooner, Yusuf alayhi salam is right at the top of all the people who is serving Aziz. And that was the time when Yusuf alayhi salam grew up, became a young man, and he became the prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the time when the wife of Aziz, she became evil toward Yusuf alayhi salam. And she said to Yusuf alayhi salam that I want you to do some wrong things for me. And Yusuf alayhi salam said, I will not going to do anything wrong for you, because it's a sin. And your husband, Aziz, if he comes to know about that you're doing wrong things, he will definitely punish you. And of course, if I am doing wrong things, I may also be punished, but I will not going to do anything wrong. So Allah's prophets are protected, and they are an example for us. So he constantly keep denying her. So one day she ordered her servants to call the Yusuf and lock the doors, and he has to listen to me and obey me. Otherwise, I'll lock him, and I will going to get him punished. So Yusuf alayhi salam comes and visits her, and she makes all her servants lock the door from outside. So Yusuf alayhi salam can't even open it from inside. And then she started telling Yusuf alayhi salam that you have to do the sins. And he said, I will not. So finally, Yusuf alayhi salam starts running away from her. And she, and as a miracle, Yusuf alayhi salam is going through these doors, and those doors are automatically opening. It's because the Quran says, وَغَلَّقَتِ الْأَبْوَابِ. She closed all the doors, and all those doors are opening. Finally, he gets to the main door of the house, and she's running behind him. She grabs his shirt from behind and pulls it and tears his shirt. Yusuf alayhi salam keeps running and gets to the main door, and outside the main door, Aziz is standing. The wife, her name was Zulaykha or Rachel. Some people say Zulaykha, some people say Rachel, some people say Rai, whatever his name was. And then Yusuf alayhi salam runs into Aziz, and right away, now the wife of Aziz changes her story. And she said, oh, catch this guy, Yusuf. He was doing something wrong in our house. I was trying to catch him. I was trying to stop him from doing something wrong. So put him in the prison. She all of a sudden changes the entire story around. And Yusuf alayhi salam said, no, she's lying. She was asking me to do something wrong. I was running away from her. And then at that time, a miracle happened. Aziz brings Yusuf alayhi salam and his wife outside the house, and there was a little baby in a cradle at that time, and the baby spoke. It was a miracle that the baby spoke and said, I will tell you what to do. Maybe it was like a young baby or young boy, whatever it is. He said, look at the shirt of Yusuf. If the shirt of the Yusuf is torn from behind, that means Yusuf was trying to run away and she was trying to pull him to do bad things. So she is the wrong person and Yusuf is right. If the shirt is torn from front, that means Yusuf is wrong and she is right. They checked the shirt of Yusuf. Yusuf alayhi salam's shirt was torn from behind. So everybody is like, Zulaikha, you are wrong. Yusuf was trying to run away from sin and you are trying to push him and pull him from behind. And Aziz ordered all the servants to leave. And he approached his wife and said, you are the wrong person here. This is the last chance. Don't do it. And he went to Yusuf and said, Yusuf, please forgive my wife. Please forgive her. She's wrong. And now things are sort of kind of settled. But the wife of Aziz is so mad and she's raging and she's like, how did he not listen to me? And the story traveled to all her friends. Now her friends are gossiping and they're saying, oh, look at the wife of Aziz. She couldn't even control a slave boy. Look at her. They're making all kinds of stories about her. And she said, let me call all my friends for a party and I will serve them good food and let them see the servant, that this servant is no ordinary servant. He's a special servant. So then she makes all her friends come to the house and make them all sit around and give them all fruits with fruit cutting knives. They're slightly sharper than your butter knives. And then she orders Yusuf alayhi salam to walk in front of them. The moment they see Yusuf alayhi salam, because Yusuf alayhi salam was extremely gorgeous, he was so handsome. The moment they look at Yusuf alayhi salam, you guys are smiling, right? But remember, this is the glow of the prophethood. When the glow of the prophethood comes, the eyes are mesmerized. Like, wow, how can somebody be so pious, so innocent? And instead of cutting the apple, they cut their hand. And they're like, we have never seen anybody so innocent. So Quran says, they said, what kind of angel is this? Because angels are usually used in language for innocence. He's so innocent. He's so nice. Nobody can expect any kind of sin from such a person. Zulaikha, you are lying. And then the story was over. Then Aziz came to know about the story and he said, Zulaikha, you will not stop, will you? She said, no, I will not stop. So Aziz said to Yusuf, what should be done? Yusuf alayhi salam made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said, Allah, I don't want to sin. They want to send me to jail. Let them send me to jail. I'm okay going to jail, even though I did nothing wrong. So Aziz said to Yusuf, it is better for you to stay in jail than be around here, because they will constantly do this to you. So Yusuf alayhi salam, even though he did nothing wrong, was sent to jail only to protect him from the evil. So Yusuf alayhi salam goes into the jail, and then he's so nice to the people around him. He's helping everybody around. He's always telling them good things. So everybody was so impressed with him. They loved him so much. They liked him so much. And then a day came when two special people entered the jail. Those people were very close to the king. They were special servants of the king. One day, after a few months, they came to Yusuf alayhi salam and said, Yusuf, We have something to talk to you about. Yusuf alayhi salam said, okay, tell me. They said, each one of us saw a dream, and we have heard that you can tell the meaning of dreams. Yusuf alayhi salam said, okay, tell me, what did you see? So one of them said, I saw the dream that I have something on my head, and it is filled with lots of bread, and I am walking, and birds are coming, and they're fetching the bread from top of my head and flying away. What is the meaning of the dream? The other person said, my dream is that I am in a grape garden. I'm taking the grapes out, and I'm taking their juice and collecting them in a pan or a pot. What is the meaning of that dream? So Yusuf alayhi salam said, I will tell you the meaning of your dreams before you eat your next meal. But let me tell you one more thing. You guys all worship idols. You all worship gods other than Allah. Remember, you must only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and none other than Allah. All the gods that you have created are all man-made. Only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then said, okay, the guy who is seeing the bird eating from his head, that guy will be killed, because he is the one who did the wrong thing to the king. So the king will punish him and he will die. The other guy will be freed, who was collecting the grape juice, and he will serve the king. After a few days, the guy who had bread on his head is taken and he's punished and he dies. The other guy is freed. Yusuf alayhi salam says to the guy who's getting freed, wait, don't forget to mention my name to your king. He said, don't worry, Yusuf, you helped me with my dream. I will never, ever forget you. He goes out and he forgets about Yusuf alayhi salam. He gets so busy in his work that he forgets about Yusuf alayhi salam. And many, many years passed, and Yusuf alayhi salam stayed in the jail. Some people say 7 years, some people say 10, some people say 20. For a long period, Quran says bid'a sinin. For many years, he stayed in jail. One day, the king, his name was Rayyan, he saw a dream. In his dream, he saw 7 fat cows and 7 lean cows. 7 lean cows ate the 7 fat cows. And he saw, have you guys ever seen wheat bushels? They're golden color wheat bushels. He saw 7 of them green and 7 of them dry. The dry ones ate the green ones. And the king wakes up and he's so scared. He goes into his court and said, everybody come in, tell me the meaning of my dream. Everybody is like, you know what, king? You're so busy with so many things happening in your life. It must be something from, we don't know, your thoughts. He said, no. It's nothing like that. Tell me the meaning. Nobody can tell him the meaning. So one guy, remember the guy who came out of the jail? He said to the king, send me to the jail. I know a guy who can tell you the meaning of the dream. So he goes to the jail and he said, Yousuf, oh, my old friend. He now remembers all of a sudden, right? He said, Yousuf, oh, my old friend, I have a dream for you to tell me the meaning. 7 cows, fat. 7 cows, lean. Lean cows ate the fat cows. 7 bushels of wheat, green, and 7 dry. The dry ones ate the green one. What does that mean? Yusuf alayhi salam said, I will tell you the meaning. For 7 years, you will have lots of rain, beautiful fruits, vegetables, gardens, you name it, you will get it. But after that, 7 years, nothing will grow. You will have no rain. It will be famine, drought. So he said, what should we do? He said, for the 7 years, it's going to rain a lot. Don't waste your wheat. Collect however much you want. Leave the rest in the bushel, in the shell. Because if the wheat is in the shell, it doesn't dries out. It doesn't get bad. If you take it out of the shell, it goes to waste after some time. So he said, leave the wheat in the shell. It will last you for years, and keep collecting them every year. And in 7 years, you will have enough to live through the 7 years of drought. And the guy goes back to the king and said, this is the interpretation of your dream. The king was so excited. He said, bring me this beautiful, intelligent guy who told you this is how I can save my kingdom. I want this guy right now. So the servant of the king comes back and says, Yousuf, you need to come out of the jail because you need to go and meet the king. The king wants you. Yousuf alayhi salam said, I'm not coming out until and unless you clear my name from the things that I didn't commit. Why am I in the jail? I didn't do anything wrong. Those women put me in jail. Ask the king to set me free by resolving my case. King didn't know about it, even though it was done by his own sister. So king now starts investigating, and he comes to know that his own sister put Yousuf alayhi salam in jail, and he didn't do anything wrong. So he calls his sister and all her friends over and calls Yousuf alayhi salam and says, okay, all of you women, tell me, what did Yousuf do? And they all said, nothing wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. And he said, okay, if he didn't do anything wrong, then why did you put him in jail? And they were all like, we were at mistake. We should not have done it. We are sorry. So king frees Yousuf alayhi salam. As a free man, he comes out of the jail. And now the king says to Yousuf alayhi salam, what do you want? I will give you any position you want. Yousuf alayhi salam said, make me the head of the guy who takes care of all your farming, because you will have 7 years of good rain and 7 years of bad season. So in the 7 years of good rain, I know, I have the experience, I can take care of the things. Make me that head of that place, and I will take care of you, and I will collect things the way they should be done. So he was made head of agriculture, where he could take care of all of these things. And he worked fearlessly, very hard for 7 years, and he made sure the kingdom can survive the 7 years of famine. Now comes the twist in the story. The famine or the drought didn't just come in Egypt. It also came where Yousuf alayhi salam's dad was and his brothers were. They didn't have grains either. They couldn't cook bread. So everybody started looking around. Where's the bread? Where's the bread? Who's selling the bread? And then they came to know that the bread is only available in Egypt. So they said, okay, we will go to Egypt and buy. So Yousuf alayhi salam's brothers were 11. Remember, 10 older brothers and 1 younger brother, Benjamin. Now Benjamin is a grown man. So Yaqub alayhi salam says to his son, go and get the wheat. His sons say, okay, what about Benjamin? He says, leave 1 son with me. You 10 can go. So 10 of the sons of Yaqub alayhi salam now enter Egypt. And they are now standing in line to collect the wheat. Yousuf alayhi salam is distributing the wheat. He sees his own brothers and he remembers them. He recognizes all of them. But when they saw Yousuf alayhi salam, he was a 12-year-old boy. Now he's a grown man in his 40s. They have no idea that Yousuf alayhi salam is. Plus he's dressed up in all Egyptian clothes. They couldn't even think in the back of their head that this guy, who is almost like a king of Egypt, is their own brother. So they come to Yousuf alayhi salam, and Yousuf alayhi salam says, who are you? As if he doesn't know them. They're like, we are the son of Jacob, Yaqub. He said, okay, are all of you brothers? He said, yes. Okay, do you have any more brothers? They said, yes, we have 2 more. But we had one brother, Yousuf. He ran away somewhere. We don't know what happened to him. But we have one other brother, Benjamin, that is with our dad. Yousuf alayhi salam said, next time you come, bring your other brother with you. Otherwise, you guys are not getting any more wheat. They said, but our dad will have nobody to take care of him. He said, but you are not getting any more wheat if you don't bring your 11th brother with you. And then Yusuf alayhi salam ordered his servant, show me the money that these guys give you. So they gave some silver coins. So Yusuf alayhi salam thought, maybe my dad doesn't have any more money. What if he doesn't have any more money? My brothers will not going to come back to me. He is ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to not show his real identity to his brothers yet. So he takes all that money and he puts it in one of the brothers' sack and he ties it up so that when they go home, if they don't have any more money, they can come back with the same money that that they are giving me now. So all these brothers now go back home to their dad, Yaqub alayhi salam, and they say to Yaqub alayhi salam, Dad, we got the wheat, but where's the problem? Next time the king said, you will not going to get any more wheat until you bring your brother Benjamin. Yaqub alayhi salam said, I will not going to send Benjamin with you guys. I sent Yousuf with you guys, and Yousuf never came back alive. You said he is dead, but I am pretty sure he's not dead. You guys did something to him. And now you're asking me to send Benjamin with you? No way. You guys will also harm him. I said, Dad, we don't have a choice. We're not going to get any more wheat. Then they started going through their sacks as they were making bread. And in one of the sacks, they found the money. And then they came back to Yaqub alayhi salam and said, Dad, look at it. We got our money back. The king gave us our money back. We can go again and we can buy more wheat. And Yaqub alayhi salam was like, okay, we don't have more wheat. I don't have a choice. This is the only thing we have. But I have one condition. You guys will not enter into the city together, because cities used to have many doors. Some brothers will go through one door. Some brothers will go through another door. Why? Because the reason is, if all of you are seen together as all 11 brothers, some of you may cast an evil eye on you guys. That how 11 brothers? Wow, that's a big number. And somebody may hurt you. So go from different doors. So they enter through different doors. And they go to Yusuf alayhi salam and said, see, we brought our brother Benjamin with us. Yusuf alayhi salam said, good job. Now stay in the quarters. So he makes special arrangement for them. They were living in the quarters that are for special guests. They're getting fed very good food. And Yusuf alayhi salam, because there were 11 of them, right? So he made 2 brothers stay in one room. So the 10 brothers were all sharing rooms, and Benjamin was not sharing room with anybody. So he was by himself in a room. And Yusuf alayhi salam purposely did that. So when Yusuf alayhi salam knew that Benjamin is by himself in a room, he went to Benjamin and said, you know who I am? He said, you are the Aziz of Misr. You are the leader. You are the distributor of all this. He said, yeah, I am. But I am Yousuf, your lost brother. And Benjamin was like, really? Because Benjamin only saw him when he was like 4 years old, 5-year-old. He is seeing Yousuf for the first time in a way. And he gets all excited. Yusuf alayhi salam said, but do not tell this to anybody. It is only between you and me. He said, okay, don't worry. Now Yusuf alayhi salam said, how can I stop my brother for not going back to the dad again? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him not to tell Yaqub alayhi salam yet. And the king has ordered that during the time of drought, nobody from outside of the Egypt can come and settle in the Egypt. You guys can come in and have to go back until and unless there is a reason. So Yusuf alayhi salam puts his special expensive cup in the sack of Benjamin and give all brothers the sack. And all the brothers get the wheat sack. They're leaving the city. Right on the door of the city, Yusuf alayhi salam orders his army to go and grab these guys. So one of the guys come and said, Ya ayyuhal ir, stop. You're thieves. And all the brothers are shocked and like, we are not thieves. We didn't steal anything. They said, yes, the cup of the king is missing and you guys have it. They said, no. We never came here to steal anything. We just bought all this wheat. We are going back home. We are no thieves. They said, okay, then how should we punish the thief? They said, punish him by taking him away. Said, okay, let's check your sacks of wheat. One sack after another sack. They finally found it in the sack of Benjamin, and the soldiers came and seized him. Catch this guy, put him in jail. And everybody is like, no, 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 don't do that. But then the brothers were like, oh, if he has stolen, his brother Yousuf was also a thief. Yousuf al-Islam was standing there listening to all this false things and said to himself inside his heart, not out loud, that you guys are liars. I never stole anything. And you have not changed in all these years. You still hate me and my brother. What kind of brothers are you? And they let go of Benjamin. And Yousuf al-Islam takes Benjamin back to his house and says, Benjamin, don't worry, we're not going to put you in jail. This is how this was the only way I could stop you. And these brothers are now thinking, should we go back to our dad empty-handed? What should we do? And the oldest brother said, we already lost Yousuf. We were not going to lose Benjamin. So I will stay here and you guys go back to the dad and tell him that we have lost Benjamin and it was not our fault. So anyway, we will stop the story right here and we will continue next time.